I teach business owners how to build companies that don't depend on them. That's the job. It's the whole pitch. Build a business that works without you so you can live a life that works for you. I've said it in workshops. I've said it on sales calls. I've said it enough times that I believed that I had actually done it. Then October happened. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. A few weeks later, my grandmother passed away. And somewhere in the middle, I found myself sitting at my desk, staring at a Slack notification that I couldn't bring myself to care about, thinking, I'm supposed to have this all figured out. I didn't. Here's the thing about entrepreneurs. We start companies for freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, the ability to build something on our own terms. And then, slowly, we build a prison with our name on the door. The calendar fills up with calls that only we can take. The decisions pile up because no one else has the context. We tell ourselves it's temporary, just until we hit the next milestone, hire the next person, close the next deal. It's never temporary. I knew this. I taught this. And I was still living it. 3 of us own our business. Me, my dad, and my mom. All family. When October hit, all 3 of us had dropped to maybe 60% capacity on a good day. The business didn't get the memo. It didn't care that we were grieving, scared, stretched thin. It just kept demanding. Or at least, parts of it did. Your business will tell you exactly where it depends on you the moment that you can't show up. Some parts of ours kept running. Marketing, lead gen. Those systems we'd spent years building, those held. Leads came in, calls got booked. The machine kept turning. I didn't have to think about it, and honestly, I couldn't have if I tried. Other parts, though, just stopped. The stuff that lived in my head, the decisions only I could make, the projects I kept meaning to systemize, but never did because I was too busy being the hero, too busy being needed. That gap between what ran without us and what collapsed without us, that was everything. But here's the thing that surprised me. The parts that kept running didn't just maintain. They grew. When we stepped back, not by choice, but by necessity, something strange happened. The marketing system we'd built started outperforming. Lead flow increased. The team members that we'd trained made decisions without waiting for approval, and most of those decisions were actually good ones. In some cases, better than we would have made ourselves. The business didn't need us as much as we thought it did. So let me say that again, because it took me a while to absorb it. The business ran smoother when we were less involved. Not because we were bad at our jobs, but because we were in the way. Every time that I inserted myself into a process that had a capable person running it, I slowed things down. Every time I just wanted to weigh in on a decision, I created a bottleneck. Every time I stayed late to make sure it got done right, I taught my team that their judgment wasn't trusted. I thought I was helping, but I was actually hoarding. And when life forced me to let it go, the business exhaled. The team stepped up, and the systems that we'd built actually got a chance to work. This was the moment the question finally hit me. What if I've built something I can't escape? Or worse, what if the thing holding this business back is me? I used to think build a business that works without you was about selling, exiting, cashing out someday. That's one version, sure. But it's not the one that matters. The version that matters is this. You don't get to pick when life falls apart. You don't get to schedule your wife's diagnosis for a slow quarter. You don't get to bury your grandmother after the product launch. A business that works without you isn't about leaving, it's about choice. The choice to be home by 5 and actually be present. The choice to not check Slack during a hard conversation with your spouse. The choice to take the trip, to attend the race, to be there for the people who matter, without everything falling behind and crumbling behind you. Most entrepreneurs build a business that requires them to be healthy, present, and firing on all cylinders every single day. Then they act surprised when life doesn't cooperate. I was tired of being surprised. After October, I started asking one question before every decision. Does this increase dependency on me or on systems? If the answer was me, I killed it, delegated it, or systemized it. No exceptions. Because here's what I finally understood. If the system requires me, it's not a system. It's a trap. stressed up as a business. I gave myself just over a year, not to sell the company, not to retire, just to get to the point where all three of us could step back if we needed to. In the business we keep running. Not because I wanted out, but because I wanted the option. Now let's talk about you. If you've made it this far, there's a decent chance you're nodding along while simultaneously thinking, yeah, but, my situation's different. Maybe you're proud of your 60-hour work weeks. Maybe you've built your identity around being the hardest worker in the room. Maybe you've got a calendar that looks like a game of Tetris and you secretly like it that way because it proves that you're important. I get it. I've been there. Our culture loves to celebrate the grind. We reward the founder who sleeps under the desk, the owner who has not taken a vacation in 3 years, the operator who answers emails at midnight. We call it hustle. We call it dedication. We call it doing whatever it takes. We pin medals on people for slowly destroying themselves. And here's the thing, it works. For a while. You can outwork almost any problem in the early days. Hustle and brute force will get you to a certain level. That's not a lie. But it stops working. Eventually, the grind gets old. Eventually, the adrenaline fades, and all you're left with is exhaustion. Eventually, you look up and realize you've been living the same dang year on repeat for a decade. Same fires, same problems, same long hours, same missed dinners, same missed games, missed moments. At the end of it, what do you have? A business that can't run without you? A company that's essentially unsellable because every key relationship, every important decision, every institutional knowledge lives in your head? You've traded a decade of your life for an asset that has no value to anyone but you. That's not a business. That's a job with even worse benefits. Here's the lie we tell ourselves. I have to be involved because I'm the best at this. Maybe you are. So what? Being the best at something doesn't mean you should do it. It means you should teach it, systemize it, and hand it to someone who can do it at least 80% as well as you, so you can focus on the things that actually move the needle. Hustle will get you started. Becoming strategically lazy will set you free. And I don't mean lazy as in negligent. I mean lazy as in ruthlessly focused on the areas that bring you energy and have the biggest long-term impact. Lazy as in refusing to do work that doesn't compound. Lazy as in building systems that work while you sleep, while you're at your kid's soccer game, while you're holding your wife's hand at a doctor's office. The entrepreneur who works 80 hours a week isn't a hero. They're a bottleneck who hasn't figured out how to lead yet. Harsh? Maybe. But someone has to say it. When life gets hard, and it will, your business will play one of two roles. It will either be a pillar that supports you, generating cash and stability, while you focus on what matters most. Or it will be the anchor that drags you under, demanding your attention at the exact moment you have nothing left to give. There's no middle ground. The business you're building right now is becoming one or the other. Every decision you make, every system you don't build, every task you refuse to delegate, it's all shaping which you will end up with. October taught me which one I'd been building. Parts of it were pillars. Parts of it were anchors. This book is about turning the anchors into pillars, all of them, before life forces you to find out which is which. This isn't theory. I've read the theory. I've taught the theory to hundreds of business owners. This is what it actually looks like to replace yourself, role by role, system by system, in a real business with real revenue and real people depending on it. I'll show you the hires that worked and the ones that didn't, the systems that held and the ones that fell apart, the places where AI and automation helped and the places where they were just expensive distractions. The uncomfortable moments when I had to admit that my involvement was the problem, not the solution. If you've ever caught yourself checking email at dinner, canceling a trip because the business needed you, or wondering whether you've built something you can't escape, this book is for you. If you've been wearing your packed calendar as a badge of honor, waiting for someone to finally challenge you on it, this book is for you. If you're tired of living the same year on repeat, and ready to build something that actually creates freedom, this book is for you. You don't have a business problem. You have an ownership problem. And ownership is a skill you can learn. So here's my question for you, and I want you to sit with it before you turn the page. If you got the call tomorrow, the diagnosis, the emergency, the crisis that you didn't see coming, would your business be a pillar or an anchor? Would it run without you, or would it crumble? Would it support your family, or would it demand that you abandon them? Be honest. No one's watching. If you don't like your answer, keep reading. That's what this book is for. This has been Chapter 1 of The Ownership Advantage, a book by Tanner O'Brien, launching early 2027.